Chapter 14, Darkness. Despereaux lay on his back at the bottom of the steps and touched the bones in his body one by one. They were all there, and amazingly, they were unbroken. He got to his feet and became aware of a terrible, foul smell. The dungeon, reader, stank. It stank of despair, suffering, and hopelessness. Which is to say, the dungeon smelled of rats. And it was so dark. Despereaux had never been encountered in this darkness. It was so awful. The darkness had a physical presence as if it were its own. The mouse held a small paw up in front of his whiskers. He could not see it. And he had a disturbing, alarming thought that perhaps he, Despereaux Tilling, didn't even exist. Could you imagine so dark you can't see your hand right here?
Yeah.
Perfidy, said Despereaux. P, said Despereaux. The name of the beloved was immediately swallowed up by the darkness. He shivered. He shook. He sneezed. His teeth chattered. He longed for his handkerchief. He grabbed a hold of his tail to have something, anything to hold on. He considered fainting. He deemed it a reasonable response to the situation he found himself in. But then he remembered the words of the threadmaster. Honor, courtesy, devotion, and bravery. I will be brave, thought Despereaux. I will try to be brave, like a knight in shining armor. I will be brave for the Princess P. How best for him to be brave? He cleared his throat, let go of his tail, and stood up. Once upon a time, he said out loud to the darkness. He said these words because he knew they were the most powerful words he knew, and saying them comforted him. Once upon a time, and he began to feel a tiny bit braver. There was a knight, and he wore an armor of shining silver. Once upon a time, boomed a voice from the darkness. A knight in shining armor? What does a mouse know of such things? That voice, the loudest voice Despereaux had ever heard, could only, he assumed, belong to the world's largest rat. Despereaux's smart, overworked heart stopped beating, and for the second time that day, the mouse fainted.